It's Star Wars story time.
Woo!
If you're new here, I read a lot of comics. Chris doesn't. I retell them, and it's a lot of fun. Quick shout out to our buddy over at Star Wars Comics Story, who has some video that's going to appear in our video on YouTube. He's cool. He does a lot of cool stuff. Also, shout out to our Luxembourgish editor,
Luxembourgian
Luca. Yeah. Who?
Cool guy.
Yeah, he's married.
Oh, nice.
You know that? He has 3 wives.
Huh.
Yeah.
It's impressive.
Yeah, it's really weird. Anyway, so today we're reading a Star Wars story time. He doesn't really have 3 wives. I'm kidding. I just wanted to put that in there to see what his reaction would be when he edited this. So we're doing Star Wars story time, Vader number 10. Let me paint the picture for you. Previously on Star Wars story time, Palpatine and Vader having a fight, which we know Palpatine is very upset at Vader, cuts him up, dumps him on Mustafar with only one limb, sends Ochi of Bastoon to try to kill him. It does not go well. While being chased by Ochi, Vader meets the Eye of Webbish Bog, which is this monstrosity of a head with a thing on it, who tells Vader about a secret plot of Palpatine's happening on the planet Exegol and gives him a Sith Wayfinder. Ochi hires pirate droids to kill Vader, and they almost immediately fail.
It does not go well.
Yeah. Vader rigs a Jedi starfighter up with an attached escape pod to escape Mustafar. He throws Ochi in the escape pod because fuck Ochi of Bassoon. They jump to the coordinates on the Wayfinder and are greeted by a giant space squid with one eye.
Okay.
There you go.
Now we're caught up.
The picture is painted.
Yep.
Okay. So they roll right up to the squid. And Ochi takes a look at it. And he's like, Vader,
that thing is gonna kill us.
Yeah, Vader, this is a little much even for you and all the weird shit that you're into. And Vader's like, yeah, well, this is the only way we're gonna get to Exegol. Yeah. And he's like, are you sure?
I mean,
can we go around it?
Do I have to go to Exegol?
Yeah. Can I leave?
Yeah.
Can we just go around the giant squid?
Could you just dump me at Bespin when we pass there?
Oh, look, 3 Star Destroyers. And Vader's like, 3 what? 3 what?
What?
3 Star Destroyers appear behind Ochi and Vader in their little ship, and they immediately open fire.
On Vader or on the squid?
On Vader. Yeah. Right. So on the bridge of the Star Destroyer, it's Sly Moore, who is that creepy fucking bureaucrat who may or may not be Palpatine's pleasure toy. I'm just saying we can't prove it's not.
Allegedly.
Yeah. And she hits him on the comm. He's like, "Oh, hey, Vader. I'm here to finish Ochi's mission and stop you from finding out the Emperor's secrets." And Vader's like, "So he does have secrets out here." And she's like, "No.
It's actually okay that you know that because I'm going to kill you anyway."
Yeah. You can't prove that there's not. And Vader's like, "Well, Ochi failed, so you will also fail." And Ochi from his escape pod, which is barely hardened, space hardened.
He's like, I haven't failed yet.
Yeah, he's like, will you give that up? You had a fucking super battle droid arm and a lightsaber. Can we leave what happened on Mustafar? And so Vader answers by immediately going into evasive maneuvers, which for Vader, evasive maneuvers means turning around, flying at the Star Destroyers, and just shooting at them, right? Because that's what he does.
That is the most Vader thing he could do in the situation.
Meanwhile, the squid is just floating there are none of you surprised to see a giant space squid?
I mean, I'm here. I have one eye. I'm huge.
I don't know what to do. You guys are fighting now. This is going to be my show, and now it's your show.
Yeah.
So the Admiral is like, well, his ship's really quick, but he'll never get through the shields. And Sly Moore is like, just fuck it, throw all the TIE fighters at him. That'll probably work. And so
narrator voice, it did not
It did
work.
not, yeah. So they launched the TIE fighters. The TIE fighters like, guys, is that a giant space squid? And the squid's like, Jesus, thank you.
All I wanted was some acknowledgement.
Thank you very much. So Vader's like, okay, I guess I'll stop killing the Star Destroyers and I'll go kill some TIEs. And so he starts cutting through TIE fighters because he's clearly a great pilot, Anakin Skywalker, best pilot in the world, whatever. And so he's doing some,
loop-de-loops and barrel rolls.
Yeah. And Ochi's like, okay, Vader, I'm going to barf. can you please stop this?
Please?
Yeah. And Vader's like, sorry, spinning is the only good trick I know.
Yeah.
And
that's a callback.
Yeah. And while this is happening, Sly Moore is looking very, smug from the bridge of the Star Destroyer. He's like, oh, look, You destroyed 6 ties. Good for you. And a technician from a computer is like, actually, it's 7. No, wait, it's 8. Oh, hold on, it's 11. And she's like, fine. So Vader from his ship is like, no, really, but there are like a billion of these fucking ties out here. So he turns around and he flies in the opposite direction.
Okay.
Toward the squid. And Ochi's like, yes, run away. That's what I do all the time. And Vader's like, yeah, no shit. That's how I kicked your ass on Mustafar. And
Ochi's like, can we just leave that, please?
Yeah, he's like
it was hours ago. Yeah. We're not even there anymore.
Also, you're right, bro. You're right.
Yeah.
So Vader flies straight at the squid. All the ties follow him. And the squid's like, yay, and just starts smashing ties with his like tentacles. Because that's all he wanted to do.
Yeah, he's having the time of his life.
Yeah. And the Admiral is like, the fuck, is that a giant squid? And the squid's like, yes!
It took you long enough.
I'm a giant squid.
Do you see how fucking big I am?
Yeah. And Sly is like, yeah, that's the galaxy's greatest predator.
Oh.
It doesn't physically break someone. If it can't physically break someone, it mentally breaks them. And Vader, this is like, she's saying this into the thing to Vader, right as he like pulls right up to its face. And he's like, wait, what do you mean? Vader's like, wait, what do you mean by mentally? And Squid's like, hey, you want to do brain stuff? And Vader's like, no. And then Squid's like, haha,
too bad.
Brain stuff. And he grabs Vader and Ochi in this like mental trap. And they both lose consciousness.
That's not how the Force works.
That is how apparently the Force works. So all of a sudden, Vader is standing before Obi-Wan in episode 4. And Obi-Wan's like, if you strike me down, Vader's like, yeah, I know.
Yeah.
And they have their sword fight, and Vader kills him. And
okay.
Vader like looks up and he's like, okay, giant squid, I've grown beyond all of this. Can you just? And he's like, the squid's like, hold on, try this one. And it's Vader in Bespin, where he says, the Force is with you, young Skywalker. You're not a Jedi yet, and it's his son.
Yeah.
Right. And Squid is like, oh, this is a good one. And then shows him Obi-Wan saying, I have the high ground. Anakin saying, you underestimate my power. And Vader's like watching all this shit happen.
I like to imagine the squid has like a remote control and one of his tentacles is just flipping through the channels.
Right. And Squid's like, don't underestimate my power. That's seriously what you sound like.
That's the best you could come up with. Come on.
Here, let's look at your son again. And he like flips the channel. It's more of Bespin. And they're fighting. And then all of a sudden the memories of Vader's duel with Obi-Wan on the Death Star and Vader's duel with Luke on Bespin start to merge together.
Oh.
And he and Vader and Luke are both losing limbs because Obi-Wan cuts off Vader's limbs and Vader cuts off Luke's limbs. And all of a sudden, it's Anakin lying on the beach on Mustafar in flames, and Luke looking down at him saying, I loved you. And Vader's like, this is getting kind of real. Like, this is very sensitive stuff.
Squid's like, how you like my brain stuff?
Yeah. And Vader pleads with Luke as he's like burning on Mustafar. And he gives him the whole, like, I'm your father. We can destroy the Emperor, blah, 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 blah. And Luke just plunges his lightsaber into Vader's chest. And Palpatine walks up to him and is like,
starts jerking off.
Yeah. Yes.
Yes.
something masturbation. He shows up and he tells Luke, like, good, this is your destiny. Cool. And they walk off and leave a dead Vader, right? And all this shit happens, and Vader like kind of wakes up a little bit, and they're on the other side of the squid in the red mist.
Okay.
And they're looking at a planet. But Vader is still kind of unconscious. Yeah. Mostly. And he crashes the ship on the surface.
Oh, okay.
And so they crash. Vader like gets out of his ship. Ochi straight up stumbles out of his escape pod, like takes off his helmet, pukes all over the place.
It's like, can we never do that again, please?
Ochi's like, holy fuck. Did that thing get in your head? Like, did it show you how you die?
I thought your flying was bad. Yeah. And then I had fucking brain sex with this giant space squid.
And he's like, how the fuck does a giant squid have mind powers? Like, we need to run. And
Vader's like, do you see the ship? Do you see what just happened to us?
Yeah, it wasn't that bad. Relax. Vader's like, you run. I'm going to stay here. And then the giant squid appears before them on this planet where they've crashed. And Ochi's like, oh, look, it's the giant squid again. And Vader's like, it doesn't matter. I'm not scared to die. And the reason I'm not scared to die is because death simply isn't an option. And he looks up at the squid and he's like, let's dance, motherfucker.
And lifts his super battle droid arm and flips of the bird.
Yeah. Yeah. And he starts using the Force.
Oh, shit.
Which, by the way...
That was one of the conditions of Palpatine.
Right.
Like he ripped off all of Vader's limbs and said, you can't use the Force, bitch.
Or I'll come and kill you. Yeah.
I'll kill you.
And Oach is like, that's not allowed. I'm going to go tell... You know what? Fuck it. Just save us, please. I'm tired of giant squids and TIE fighters and fucking... Star Destroyers.
I'm tired of all of this. I just want to go home. I want to have a drink. I want to go to bed.
Somewhere in there are pirate droids.
Yeah.
I didn't even know I don't know who those guys even were. And Vader is looking at the squid and he's like, yeah, bitch. Fear leads to anger. Anger leads to hate. And hate leads to power. And he kills the squid with the Force. Just fucking kills him.
Crushes it.
And he says, let the Emperor fear me. And they turn around on this planet.
And oh my God, it's Palpatine.
It's not Palpatine. Oh. They are on Exegol, and it is that giant rhombus-shaped thing from Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah.
And
the Sith party house.
Yeah, and that's the end of the comic.
Nice.
Which is we mentioned a little bit earlier.